Well, this series I entitled Second Sight, and the reason is that many of the images, not all of them, in this series, and the series is vast. There must be 150 images in this series at least, but the motivation was to go back and look at images and reimagine and revisualize them. Thus, second sight, a second looking at them. And I think the origins of that are that I really find the best art is art that doesn't yield itself up to you on first viewing. The best art is art that resists complete comprehension initially, invites you to come back, to reimagine it, to revisualize it, to understand more. So it was a kind of natural evolution to do something that I called Second Sight, because I am, in fact, revisualizing things that I've been looking at for quite a long time. It's actually, of course, very flattering, but I'd say I need to give you a little brief history. I have an MFA in photography, and I taught photography on the university level at a couple of different institutions. I studied with some of the best known names in both photographic history and photography, Beaumont Newhall and Ray Metzger. I fully intended to pursue a career in academia, but after a number of years, I no longer found it of any interest, and I left it. And there was a 25-year period when I did not make a single photograph. When I retired from the business that I had started, I went back to making photographs, and I'd have to say with an abandon. I didn't regret the lost years, but I didn't want to waste the remaining ones. So I had not been exhibiting for a very long time. And I think it was a while before my work began to merit some attention. That would be my own judgment, let alone the judgment of others. And I think it was really probably not until very recently that I even would call myself an artist. And I actually don't refer to myself as a photographer, although I think photography is as important an art as any form. I think of myself more as a kind of printmaker who uses photographs rather than a photographer who makes prints, because I'm very interested in the quality of papers, the ink sinking into the paper rather than sitting on the surface of it, et cetera, et cetera. In any event, so it was quite a while before I began to value my own work, having finally gotten back to it. And I think this, at age 75, is a nice, flattering confirmation that I'm doing something that people would like to see. I really couldn't presume to know what they would take away from it. I will say this. All artists need an audience. They need it to different degrees and for different reasons. I'm not concerned about the financial reward. I'm not interested in fame. But I am interested that an audience sees my work, because I fundamentally believe that the audience more or less finishes the equation. That the transaction between an artist and the audience is one that's filled with uncertainty, as it should be. And an audience completes that equation by bringing to it things that the artist never imagined. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard responses to my work which were revelations to me, because they were not the ways in which I'd seen the work myself. So my expectation is that people will bring something to the work. I am unlikely to know what that is, but I do expect them to bring something to the work that informs them in a way that I had not anticipated or intended. That's, to me, I think, the greatest triumph that any artist could have.